Well, there is no definition. That's one of the aspects of it. It's one of those, you know it when you see it. There's a common variance for unfair business practice. There's what we call the corporate raid, where one company might try to raid another company's intellectual property, any of their employees, contracts that they might have. You can also have the unfair business practice from the inside, which is a group of employees secretly gathering a bunch of that company's intelligence, data, customer list, assuming they're proprietary in nature, and organizing themselves to go create the competitor, all while getting paid by their current employer. So those are two of the common themes we see. We can also see that, as we talked about in another video, where you have business breakups. You can have the various owners gathering their own data. While they think it's theirs, it actually belongs to the company usually. So you can have what we loosely characterize as unfair business practices. There is no definition to an unfair business practice, and the reason I say that is that when you're trying to act unfairly or illegally to somebody, there's all kinds of ways to scheme. It's sort of like saying, how do you steal from somebody? Well, you can steal in a lot of different ways. And ultimately what you're trying to do as a lawyer is that there's unfairness where there's no legal remedy for that unfairness. So if you're mistreated sort of in a lawfully way, if you're just being rude or you're lawfully competing, but it may just seem a little unfair because you're friends with that person, and I can't believe a former friend would take business from me or compete for business. That may be unfair to some people, but perfectly fair to other people. As a lawyer who deals with unfair business practices, what we're trying to do is look to see if an individual case and that unfairness associated with an individual case parlays into a legal claim or legal claims. Are there trade secrets involved? Is there a business conspiracy at issue? Are there other legal claims that can be asserted? Did someone illegally interfere with a contract or a business relationship? And when you read a lot of these cases, there's all kinds of unlawful ways to interfere, sharp business practices, and the name of competition or the flavor of competition and what's acceptable or unacceptable can vary by industry. So in one industry, all the clients might be individually associated with an employee or a sales rep or a relationship, where in another business, the employee information is really with the business and not with the individual employees. Usually what happens is a whole bundle of things. It's not only a group of employees who left, but they've taken stuff. So you usually have the combination of what was taken, how long were the individual employees talking to one another, when were they talking to each other, were they talking while at work, were they talking at home? How many employees exist at the company? If you're talking about two employees who leave to start their own business, if their current employer is 16,000 and they take no clients with them, they start from scratch, they don't take any trade secret information, they just go out into the world, usually that big company doesn't even flinch at something like that. On the other hand, if you have a company that has just 10 employees and all of them leave and all the customers leave at once and they've downloaded all the data, intellectual property that employer paid for, that's something entirely different. So usually this is all a hodgepodge. Every case is different. The other thing that matters is how much training is involved. Did those clients come in with those individual employees? Are they lifelong relationships? Because if an employee has 5 customer relationships and it's their mother, father, brother, sister, and uncle, well, those customer relationships are going to go with that employee. It's hard to assert an unfair business practice. On the other hand, if that employee had no customers, no information, when they started, they were fully trained, fully paid, and they left in not such a good manner, and they took all this stuff, then that changes it a lot. And ultimately, if it's a jury trial you're going to have your peers weighing in, and it comes down to the smell test.